Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video I used tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree to make all of these DIYs. For the first one I used one of the big 72 packs, and I'm just going to glue the 3 blocks together like this with some tight bond wood glue, and I made 32 of these in total. I just placed the tower blocks facing in different directions. So the first one is them all facing up the way, then they're facing to the side, the next one they're facing up the way, and I just make sure that each one is touching the block, a square that's facing the other way, if that makes sense. And I do this until I make the shape of the letter E. Then I glue them together in that order, and I make 2 of these. Could you easily do this to make letters like F and L and I? And then I'm just going to take the remaining blocks and I'm going to put them also in the opposite direction from the ones that they're touching. And I'm just going to show you where I put them, and that's me picking the best grains because that's the bits that's going to be showing. And I just put them all along the edge of each side and then at that inner part, but I don't do it for the top or the bottom of the E. And then just glue those ones in place. That's me gluing the wrong edge, so just make sure that you glue all the edges that are going to be touching. And now I'm just going to take the single blocks and put them on the bottom of each part of the E, like one either side. And then just glue the other E on the top. I didn't show it on camera, but I did turn it onto its side to glue it and hold it in place, and that worked better. Off camera I stained it with the Waverly Antique Wax, and I cut out 3 pieces of foam board to fit in the middle, and I should have put like 1 block on either side, but I mean you can do that if you make it. But I'm only going to put some fake succulents in here anyway, and I'm not going to glue them down, so if you want to do that, it's up to you. And I fill it with some of the Dollar Tree reindeer moss and some of the succulents from Dollar Tree. And this is it. And I made it for my little friend Ethan. He's 6. this week. He loves all my crafts, so I made it for his bedroom, so I hope he loves it. Let me know what you guys think. For this next DIY, I took 20 tower blocks and I glued them together at the ends to make 10 pieces, and then I'm just going to glue them so that the corners touch like this. And then I keep doing it so that it makes a spiral. And I'm using hot glue here because it's quicker, but I should definitely use wood glue. I'm going to try using wood glue more often because the hot glue doesn't always hold. And off camera I stained it with some Minwax in Early American, and I'll leave a link below, and I don't know why I didn't show it on camera. And I painted a Dollar Tree palette with some black acrylic paint, and I'm just going to glue the two pieces together, and then I'm just going to decorate with a couple of succulents. I didn't glue them down because I didn't decide how I wanted them yet, but you could always put more on it, and you can always hang this on your wall or something. I just want to try and make something a little bit different. For this one, you're going to glue the blocks together like this to make a square. And I'm using hot glue again, but you should definitely use wood glue. And if you do use hot glue, make sure you pick off the glue that oozes out. For the next level, you have to put the first corner where I'm putting it, and then make it at an angle so the other corner is touching the other side. Yeah, just make sure, just go round and put that corner together and then the other one. So you're still making a square, but it's not the same square as the one underneath. And just keep repeating this all the way up until you can make the square, put it together and make a square like you did on the bottom. This is like halfway through. So here is the top, and you just want to glue these pieces together and then make sure you hold it. But I forgot to film for the bottom. I just glued in 4 of the wee wooden cubes that you get from Dollar Tree. Off camera, I painted these with the Waverly Antique Wax, and then I used some black acrylic paint to paint the edges of each of the tower blocks. And this one was actually the first one I made, and I made it going anti-clockwise, and then these two I made going clockwise. And here I'm showing you that I lined that one up properly, but when I made these next ones, I didn't line them up the same at the top. So watch out for that, because it will make them fit together better when you glue them together. Also, make sure they're going in the same direction. And I just put an air plant from Walmart and some grass from Dollar Tree in these. I put some moss in the bottom of that one, but if you closed off the top, you could always make them into candle holders. If you guys make any of my DIYs, I'd love it if you tag me on Instagram so I can see them, and it's also the name Bonnie Blings. For this DIY, I just used a big container of Mod Podge so that I could stand up the tower blocks around it in a semicircle. And then I used some Nautical rope from Dollar Tree and I just hot glued it to the blocks so that it could hold its shape. Then I hot glue a tower block to one end of each tower block. Then I put it back into the semicircle shape and I just hot glue another tower block on the top of where each gap is, and I do that all the way around, making sure that it stays in the circle shape. And then I made 2 of these and I glued them together in the middle. And I'm just putting some extra tower blocks on either side, and I just hot glue them and just make them fit. And I hot glue some of the reindeer moss from Dollar Tree along the bottom, and then I fill it up with some succulents. And I think it turned out really cute. Looks like a wee bridge, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm using the Dollar Tree wood glue, super glue, and I'm just gonna use a paintbrush to brush on a little bit on each tower block, and I am putting them together with the opposite corners touching. And I'm just going to keep doing this and building it up and making a spiral until it comes all the way back to the same as the original tower block that I started with. And then I'm just going to add 2 tower blocks to the top and then 2 to the bottom, and that's it. But you could make this one taller if you like. You can do that with all these candle holders I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you different ways you could put the blocks together and the patterns that they make. This next one I'm using hot glue because I'm impatient, but definitely use the wood glue. And this one I'm gonna stick the blocks together the same way, well, diagonally, like to make a spiral, but on their sides. And all these candle holders, you could stick the blocks together in 2s or 3s and then build them up and make them thicker if you wanted to. So here you see the spiral shape. for this one, I am doing one flat and one on the side, one flat, one on the side, like that, all the way up. And again, I just made it the size that I'm going to show you, but you can make these any size you want. You see it turns out like this. And I did paint one of them just so you could see. And the little candle holders I got for the top, I got from Amazon, and there's a link down below if you would like them. You can make these different colors, and you can always make the base and the tops bigger if you want to. Now with this DIY, I glued the blocks together like this, and it should definitely use I keep saying it, but wood glue for this, because when I stained it, the pieces kept falling apart and it was a bit of a nightmare. And also I would stain the blocks first. And then I just joined the pieces together, and I made 24 of these. And then I'm just going to glue them together diagonally again and make sure that the sides are touching. I just pick off, if you don't use hot glue, but make sure you always pick off any hot glue that's sticking out, because you can see it when you paint or stain. And then I just keep doing this and then keep stacking them up until I've used up all of the blocks. And this is it, starting to take shape. And you can make this as, you can make it that size, or you could make it taller if you want to. I'll just give you the ideas, and then you can take them and make them your own. And here, this is the bottom. You'll see at the end that I added 9 blocks to the bottom to make a square shape. No, it was a rectangle shape. But I had just add a couple of extra blocks on the top here. So I didn't show it on camera, but I did put a piece of foam board on the top and I glued it down, and I stained it with the Minwax in Early American. I just added some reindeer moss and Dollar Tree succulents in the top, and I hope you like it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.